What's up, guys? This is Dave from the Fight Bananas podcast. Wow, what an episode we have for you guys going on. We got Bubba Scheffel, J-Mac, Jeremiah McDougall. We got the professor live in the studio. It's going to be bananas. We can't wait. We're going to get going live in the studio. Make sure you hit up all of our sponsors. We appreciate them so much. Arboto's Pizza, Maytech, Mako Tech, Mouthguard, and Still Nutrition, Warhammer Fightwear, Fusion CBD products, Manscaped. Use that special code DVA20. Get 20% off everything and free shipping. Guys, let's go bananas with J-Mac and Bubba. We did like that 5-question thing like 6 or 8 months ago. I think it was before your third fight.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And now 4-0.
Feels good.
Let's start there, guys. Let's start there. Both 4-0, both Combat Night Duval. Do you guys like... I always thought about this, and I remember May 4th, the Orlando show, Combat Night show, it was like 10 of you guys. You guys had T-shirts, the whole thing. To me, that was like awesome. I just the momentum, the vibe. I was even calling those fights that night, and just you guys were riding. Do you guys like doing that as a team thing, or a little bit? I felt you being in the main event, and then you were right there on the main card, the first fight. It was just like kind of a little bit more individual based. Does that matter to you guys? Or
I think it's real cool to have your teammates there with you, because it's just kind of gives you that practice environment,
right?
But just something about each time I go out, I'm nervous, and I'm just you kind of think of like every scenario, and you're a little scared, you're a little nervous, but then once you have just this most recent fight, it doesn't matter who I'm fighting. It's always nerves, and you're a little scared and everything, but then you have. I just remember everyone, I don't even know if they're allowed to be back there because they don't have, like, the wristbands and stuff. But you have all the Brazilians from Fusion, and you have Julian, and they're all just, like, cracking jokes and making fun of, like, people and just, they're just being dumb and goofy, and then they just make you lighten up. And then I was really nervous, and then they're back there messing around, playing around, and then it just became, like, just my mindset shifted a little bit. I was just like, it's just a fight. Just go out and have some fun, so... Definitely helps me. So I like having, and then just getting to get the feed off, because I don't like watching fights, but then I get to see him.
Yeah.
And I go and peek out, and he's on top of the guy, just like hammering him with elbows. And I'm like, I literally like watched up until like the last minute, and he was on top and hammering him. So I was like, he's got this. I'm going to go back and just chill and listen to music and relax. So.
Could that even, and then I kind of want you to answer first, but then something popped in my head when you said that. Could that even almost turn a little bit the opposite way if your friend, your teammate, your compadre, if they were losing the fight or they lost the fight or they got tapped out or something real quick, it's like, dang, like it kind of brings down to that all? Did you guys ever feel that or think that way, or is it just, or Fusion X-Cel, all you guys do is win, no matter what. So
that's what Julian expects of us.
Right.
He really gets upset if anybody that's representing our team loses. You could see it's on his face, and he's just, his mood changes.
Did you guys saw Jay Will today, right? That little video.
Yeah,
that head kick.
It was great.
Yeah,
I actually messaged him right after that.
I thought that was funny. But okay, same kind of question you about the team, or did you like? Hey, you were a little bit of the standout, a little bit of the first fight. I always love like UFC events, that pay-per-view, that first fight is always just like. They always, Mitchell probably put you there for a reason. You know what I mean? A little bit of a spark.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, like me personally, I enjoyed the May card because it was pretty awesome. I mean, ironically, like hearing this guy, like I was like every time I looked down, he was beating the hell out of his opponent. So I was like, all right, we got this tonight. But yeah, I mean, having a bunch of teammates win back to back, and then it's like that extra motivation to go out there and carry it on. But also like this past weekend. It was nice going down there, just me and Bubba fighting.
Right.
And so we were so separate in the card. It was like I had my team there, like you said, all the Brazilians and everything, which I still don't know how the hell they got back there. But
they find a way.
It was a combat night show, It's like you slide in, you give a wink to Mitchell, and it's like everyone just back there.
Just pretend they don't speak English.
It just works. It works.
And I asked, he mentioned that we were actually at SeaWorld a couple days ago, just hanging out, working, doing our thing. And he goes, sometimes people from out of the country, they do that. They sneak in line. And they like don't talk English, and I was like, John, you think they do that on purpose to get away? He's like, absolutely, yeah. He goes, they know what they're doing.
I would do it if I could do it, but I don't speak 2 languages, so I can't do it. Otherwise, I'd be like, you got me, bro. You got me. I'm not even arguing.
Well, if you know their language, though, if you were,
That's what I'm saying.
then you
If I
can
knew
like,
their language,
if you knew, oh
I
yeah.
don't.
Or even you could say a couple words.
oh my gosh, no one
speaks
speaks last.
So no, I didn't.
My brother did that. My brother took
You know
Latin.
why? There was a football coach that taught it. It was the easiest class ever. I learned about Hercules. I learned about all the stuff that I just liked now as a grown man that I watched.
You learned about like
That's Latin?
Emmett Smith.
Oh, I mean, it's Greek. It's all
Latin.
about Greek mythology and all that
Okay.
stuff. So all that kind of stuff.
All right.
We read the Odyssey or whatever. Yeah,
Gotcha.
That's why I did it, because it was easy. I didn't have to stand up and
Okay.
speak Spanish. I heard everybody had to stand up and talk it and like actually speak it. And then French was the same way. And there was like one other language in there. And I think it was German. And there was no way I could speak German.
Yeah, I know. I'm good.
I tried to learn
That just
Korean when I was in
sounds
Korea,
rough.
and that didn't work out too well either.
I'm using Duolingo for try to learn Portuguese.
Yes,
just
I
so
would
I
do
can
like that.
I can because there's all these Brazilians on the team.
Right.
And I have Rodolfo Vieira and Jacques Ray trying to teach me stuff, and then we always run into that situation where they have to pull out their phone and Google Translate. So I'm trying. I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna study some Portuguese and I'll be there in no time. And I'm like still learning like food and just simple things, like
Yeah.
let alone body parts. And they start talking, I'm completely lost. And
Jack
I've
Ray's
been
like,
doing it for a
armbar,
while.
armbar. Come on, Bubba, armbar.
But the one thing he always says is like he'll always like compliment you on things, but it's funny to hear like the language like barrier, because like if you're gonna tell someone that they're not that good at something, right? You find like a respectful way,
Of course, yeah,
to
yeah,
do
yeah,
so.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
you
yeah.
water it down a little
Yeah,
bit. Jacques Ray was just like, hey man, your ankle lock defense, it's just terrible. It's terrible. It just straight up, very blunt, just tell you.
Yeah.
But you take it to heart. You know.
Of course.
Hey,
He's trying to, for one,
Yeah,
help you.
yeah.
But yeah, any kind of conversation go with all due respect. Like, it never happens. Nothing good happens after that,
I figured.
However,
the way I look at it, it's Jacques Ray.
Yeah, yeah.
He can do. Yeah, he
Yeah.
can tell you
Who's
stuff.
gonna say
Yeah.
anything
Hey.
to that guy? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, you're right.
It's just
Yeah,
the way he says terrible. It's
right here.
terrible.
It just hurts right here.
let's talk about Jacare fighting in 40 hours. Moving up to light heavyweight. You guys like that move for him? Light heavyweight?
We will find out.
Okay.
No, but I mean it's exactly it's Jacare, and I think when you're old, you just get sick of cutting weight.
Right,
I'm
right,
already
right,
sick of
right.
Cutting weight, and I'm still young, but it's just he's a professional and he's been in this game so long. He knows. He knows if he's ready for that.
I think it's going to be good for him. I really do.
Me too. He is not a small man.
Oh, no.
No, he's not.
I remember in the locker room when Mike's first fight.
You get to
against
train
Joe-
with him. Do you?
Yeah.
You get in there with him a lot?
Yeah, I mean, his last camp, when he was fighting Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Julian, it was like
He
it
was
like,
huge in the locker room.
Yeah.
bro. He was huge.
it was a special gift for me a couple of times because I walk in the gym. I'm going in there for one of my last Saturday sparring sessions. I'm like, all right, let's get some good work in. Julian's like, first round, you got Jacare. I'm like, and he's like, yeah, he's just boxing. I was like, oh, fuck, this is gonna be rough. Yeah. So, but I kind of use that to my advantage a little bit because sparring with him before that fight and everything, my opponent was way too friendly. It was the May card, way too friendly for me before the fight, and he's sitting there talking to me, and somebody was like, how's it been training at Fusion? I'm like, it's been good. And then I kind of did it on purpose. I was like, yeah, Jacare was one of my main sparring partners during this camp.
Oh,
and
wow.
The dude looked at me, and he's like, man, why'd you got to tell me that? Like, the guy I'm about to fight. I was like, I got you, bro.
That's a
I
good,
got you.
good call out. Good
Yeah.
throw out.
I personally think it's going to be a good move for him.
Yeah, me too. I think
Not
it's going to be
cutting
great
weight.
for him. Not even that. Right now, middleweights are murderer's row. It's insane, that top 5, 4. And then him just to kind of get a new look. Light heavyweights, I don't want to talk bad about any professionals, right? But the light heavyweight division, I think, is a little bit lackluster than the middleweights right now.
He'll be the only successful one lately to move up.
Yeah,
from
no,
middleweight
because
to
that's gone bad lately.
It's gone
the
well.
moves have gone bad.
Weidman, Cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get why they took fights like that, but why did you take fights like that?
Yeah.
Like when you moved up to new division, you
I
didn't
get
even
those-
test the waters. Why
But
did
Till
you
did it, and it worked out. It's like a
But
little
the
bit
thing
of
is,
risk
the
reward.
70 to 85 one seems to be working out kind of
Right.
well.
Right.
But
Or the 155 to 172.
The thing is, I don't get is like, so you have what's the guy that Jacques Ray fought that
Hermanson?
No. Before that.
Brunson.
No, after Brunson.
Gaslam.
Gaslam.
Yeah,
So you have Gaslam, who was 70.
Yep.
And then,
Same thing. Never gonna make weight though.
With Johnny Hendricks too.
Right.
They're at 70, and then they miss weight at 85.
That's crazy.
And
I think they, in their mind, they're like, "Oh, I can make it easy."
So I think it's just like you plan in your head. Yeah, I'll cut the last 10, and then you realize you're like, "Oh, I really messed this up."
Yeah.
I can't get. But I remember a story that John Smith told about Johnny Hendricks. He said one day they finished practice. This is at Oklahoma State, and Johnny always had problems in college making weight. You know, he wrestled at 174. And they said, it was always they had to give him extra detail. Hey, Johnny, you can't do this. You got to eat right. All these things. He said he followed him after they had a talk.
Yeah.
And he followed him, and Johnny said he went to the town over to go to McDonald's. And he looks behind him. John Smith is behind him in the car because he followed him from I guess from the arena. I heard that story one time.
That's the
That was
worst.
hilarious.
It's like a girl looks at your phone, finds another girl's phone number in the last one. It's like the same thing. That and finding McDonald's. A professional fighter cutting weight at McDonald's.
What goes through your mind? I did all this just for McDonald's.
I know. 32-minute drive.
Else? You could have went anywhere else, but you drove a town over for McDonald's and got caught.
Yeah.
So I would have sat there and could have went to Longhorn. Yeah, right. And got caught at Longhorn at least. You know what I mean? I went to McDonald's for a 99-cent cheeseburger because they were at that time.
They were probably Johnny Hendricks days. Wow. Just so funny. We were talking about it. I haven't written it down, and both of you guys kind of nailed on it. I think. Have you? Because you guys are there all the time. Does it hit home that both of you guys dropped the story? We're picking up all the names you guys are dropping right now. Jacare Souza, Mike Perry, Julian Williams. The gym that you guys are at day in and day out are just some of the best fighters in the world, top end fighters, money making fighters. Just Phil Rose about to be in the UFC very, very, very soon. Is it motivating for you? Is it just another day at work? You guys still feel that? Do you still have a little bit of whoa, that's my goal. That's where I want to be. Or,
I mean, you get a kind of familiarity, just being there with them, and you recognize they're just regular guys.
Yeah.
Just like you, they say dumb things.
Yeah.
And then
I say a lot of dumb things.
They have bad days and good days, but it is so you're. I remember. I was going with Jacare. They wanted me to do some rounds with him, and he hit me once really hard at the end of the round. He got a takedown, and Julian was like, "Come on, you can't be giving up takedowns and stuff." And I was so angry at myself. But then you had just some time passed, and I thought to myself, "That's Jacare Souza."
Yeah.
Not to in no way do I ever want to just be complacent with okay, so I'm allowed to get taken down by certain people, but. It was just hey, you're okay.
Yeah,
you're gonna be fine. So you just gotta relax. But it definitely it's awesome. And there's a reason why all those guys are there because it's what brought me down.
Okay.
Julian, I wasn't planning on I didn't have any connection with Fusion X-Cel or anything like that.
Yeah, I would love to hear this story.
So this is cool.
Your story. There we go. Hey,
so
that's what we're here for.
This is how I've heard it. So you're gonna have to ask Phil. But so Morgantown, West Virginia, still sophomore year of college. We're going through a coaching change. It was the end of my sophomore year. They had not renewed my head coach's contract. So basically, the team's kind of we're still together, but they're trying to pick a new head coach. So for the time being, we practice year round. So for the time, we were just doing open mats.
Okay.
So I show up to practice one day, and there's just this kid there. He's just realize this is a college practice, and you can't just show up random guys off the street to show up to practice. He's like, "Oh, it's cool, man. I'm friends with Ross, and I was gonna come and wrestle with you guys, and at the end, I can show you guys some boxing if you'd like." And we're all yeah, why not? So we help him with wrestling, and then we're he's holding mitts for us and stuff. We don't know what the heck we're doing. It was Phil Rowe. So I remember was hitting mitts, and he told me, I remember to this day, he told me I had the ugliest left hook he's ever seen in his life. I remember him telling me that. So a couple years later, come to find out how he met, I guess there was like a minor disagreement between one of my teammates and Phil when they were watching fights. It was like the Weidman-Silva fight or something like that.
Right.
And I guess like there were two sides were saying something. I guess my teammate had said, if you want beat up, come to the wrestling room tomorrow or something like that. And this man showed up.
Yeah.
He showed up to the wrestling room. So
yeah, that's a Phil Rowe move. That's a Phil Rowe move.
Yeah. So props to him for that. But
wow.
Into college, I know I want to fight, and he's the only guy I know that fights. So I just finished NCAAs, and I hit up Phil. Say, hey man, I want to fight. I want to train. So we trained at this place called Ground Zero in Morgantown for a little bit, and a couple weeks after, he's like, hey, I'm taking a trip. All right, so when I said there was a coaching change going on, one of my coaches was Greg Jones, who's now the head coach or head wrestling coach for what was Black Zillions and now Hard Knocks.
Right.
So that's where I was planning on going. So I was in contact with him. He let me come down for a week and get to train. But
wow.
I get to go train with them for a week, and it was cool. And I'm like, oh, this is crazy. I'm gonna do this.
Yeah,
this
good gym.
So Phil says, hey, I'm just going down to Palm Coast to hang out. That's where I grew up.
Yeah.
So you should come down and just hang out for a little bit. So I was just finishing up school. And granted, I just finished NCAA, so I'm, still in great shape. Feel like I'm one of the best grapplers in the world. And so we come down, and he's like, hey, since we're down here, you want to go spar? We're going to go spar or train with these guys. I'm like, yeah, sure. Sounds good. And he takes me in to Fusion X-Cel, and he's like, hey, man, just to give you a heads up, Julian's gonna beat you, like, pretty bad. I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, I don't know really how to throw my hands yet. It's okay. He's gonna beat you with grappling. And I'm like, so where did he wrestle? He didn't wrestle. And I'm like, okay, so that is impossible. Like, yeah, maybe he gets me a submission, but, like, there's zero chance I'm going to get out grappled by a person who's never wrestled. So long story short, I got.
This is so good. So I love this.
It was a 5-minute round. I was taken down in a minute, like within the first minute. I just remember being exhausted, and somehow I get caught in a crucifix at basically the 1 minute mark. So I'm in a crucifix. He's locked both arms down, so I'm kind of spread right here.
Yeah.
And he punched me in the face like it was like. Basically like a slap. Like just imagine someone slapping you in the face over and over and over, and then so you're trying to you're frustrated, you try to spaz out, it didn't work, so you're just stuck here. So you have time to gather yourself while getting punched in the face over and over. You're like, all right, I'm going to use all my energy, I'm going to get my breath, and I'm going to spaz out and get out of here. So you gather your breath, and then all at once, and you almost get out, and then you get put right back. 4 minutes I spent there until the end of the round. And I think I sat the next 2 out before I even decided to go back in. And I remember leaving that day and just, my pride was taken from me, just everything. And I just, I thought about that going home, and it haunted me. I've been beat in competition bad. I've been embarrassed. Never to that degree.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And fresh out, I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
And,
You wanted to be back there Monday morning at 7 a.m.?
Yes. And basically, that was what kind of fueled the decision.
Wow.
It was just getting embarrassed. So I was just kind of on a vendetta. It's like, I'm going to kill this man before I die. And then you just it's then all of a sudden I come, and then Jacques Ray Souza shows up, and all these other guys show up, and all these people are doing their training camps there. And then I was just I kind of struck gold out of nowhere. Phil Rowe.
For one, I know you got 8 things, but 2-3 things off the top of my head. For one, your story is so amazing. You're going through it, and I'm that's the difference between fighters and just normal people. I think you said yes 22 times. I would have said no all 22 times you said yes. Come to Palm Coast. No, I'm not going to Palm Coast. To come to here. You said yes every single time. That's just a fighter's mentality. I love it. Then 2 is you had an easier or a nicer coach or a gym that you kind of had a little bit of connection with. Hard Knocks, great gym, maybe a little bit better weather down in Miami. You go, no, I want to go to the gym that I got my ass kicked for 4 straight minutes. Gosh,
in
I
a
love
way,
that.
it's kind of like
I love that.
it was kind of fueled by like kind of pride in a way. So I'm not too proud of that, but you know, I mean, everything happens for a reason. So
Absolutely.
you know, I'm very glad that I made that decision.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean,
Goodness.
it's just
Dave doesn't quite understand, I think, yet how frustrating it is to have a grown man on you.
Oh.
And you cannot do a damn thing
No.
about it.
that was the
Like,
No,
when
wait,
you're
wait,
just
no.
getting like seriously, like that feeling is the most like you're like it's the most demoralizing thing into
John.
yourself. You have that's like to dig deep down. It's
I-
crazy.
I'm married with 2 kids. I win.
You win all the time with that. I get it, but that feeling right there.
2 boys, they asked
I
for
literally
it.
what really
it's-
did it is I put myself like in the future of thinking what happens if we show up at like a UFC event where fans or one of us is fighting or just whatever and we make eye contact. You know what I'm saying? What is going through his head? He's like, "Oh, there's the kid that I like held down for 4 minutes and tortured." Like, and then we make that eye contact and we say hi to each other, but deep down that's what I'm thinking, that's what he's thinking, and I can't have that. You know what I'm saying? I can't, because you know he's not gonna bring it up, but like that's what he's thinking.
Right.
Or he looked at you and go completely. I think I know that kid. I don't know. I know.
Oh
him
my
somehow.
god! Or he's
And
just
then
like,
you're
"Oh,
gonna
that
go,
kid's terrible."
I know you know. I know you know. It could be any of those things, but
There's nothing you could do outside. You could, you know, go on a tear, be in the UFC, win a bunch of fights, but deep down, that man knows. He's like, "Oh yeah,
I smoked that kid.
yeah."
I own that boy. You know, that's crazy. Oh my
It's like, I
goodness.
guess it's the feeling like Mayweather watching Canelo going, I beat him.
Yeah.
But did he know? That was a good fight.
It was a good fight.
Yeah, I think he did.
You think so?
I think he did enough on both ends, making him miss and hitting him with clean shots and keeping his pace of the fight.
Well, here's the question: Mayweather versus Canelo in their prime. Like who?
Oh, Canelo right now, if you put it at 154 and they fight again, if they fight at 154, Canelo knocks him square out.
No, but Floyd
Here's
Mayweather
now.
when he's 10 years ago, though.
Yeah, exactly. Mayweather 10 years ago. Not
Floyd
now.
10 years ago.
Mayweather 10 years ago is Canelo now.
Money Mayweather.
No, because you know why? Look at all the fights that he fought those years ago when he was doing that. He wasn't making people miss like he made people miss in his older age. He was making people miss, but he engaged a whole lot more.
Yeah.
He engaged a whole lot more back then.
I don't know. I think
I take
Canelo Mayweather was a tough fight, but also De La Hoya Mayweather was also a good fight. That
It
one there,
was.
I was kind of like.
That was close.
I
That was
thought-
super
I
close.
thought- I actually
But
thought-
Castillo, the first Castillo fight,
Oh yes.
bro, it's at least a draw. And Maidano, the first one, get out of here. That was a draw too.
Yes,
in my
that
book.
was, yes.
Maidano came from the heavens with an overhand
For sure.
right and banged him on the head like 18 times and then stung him. If there was 10 seconds left in that round, he was putting him flat out.
Yeah.
Off
You know
air
what I'm
is
saying? Yeah.
Pete Zachary. He's right there. So he's going to come and say hi. We're going to see him later. He's going to talk about Fusion and take your kids there. Give the gym lots of money. We'll talk about it. Buy T-shirts. You know, a lot of
Great
stuff going on.
advertisement, man.
Hey, you know,
Damn.
I get paid big money.
That's
you know.
That's what
Right there.
Dave does. Dave has the greatest hair ever, and he knows how to spit on the mic.
So back to okay, we got to go to J-Mac because I had a couple with
Nah,
Bubba.
man,
We got to get.
You gotta let Bubba
let this
finish,
guy
man.
get this
Is
guy.
is the story done or?
That's the
Okay.
end of the story.
Oh, okay.
And we all
Okay,
live
and I
happily
still
ever after.
got
And now
Yeah.
we'll join family.
4-0 and.
Matata.
So, I heard probably a year ago. I can't put my finger on it if it was Mike Perry or Julian or maybe it was Mitchell or someone. And they go, Fusion's got UFC fighters, great fighters, but there's like one kid I love. I love this kid. I'm like, okay, cool. I love hearing that. I'm my best thing in sports, basketball, football, baseball. I love seeing a kid who got picked I like seeing Russell Wilson before he became Russell Wilson. Like I love finding the diamonds in the rough. And they go, the diamond in the rough at Fusion X-Cel is Jeremiah McDougall.
Really?
And I go, wow, really? And I was like, I really didn't know who you were. And then I started, Facebook stalking you, Instagram stalking
I
you.
didn't even know that.
And what they said was, like the two things, they go, you listen to everything and you pick up, like, so if you do something wrong, everyone does something wrong at the beginning, right? They're like, hey, don't put your elbow there. They'll tell it, and then they go, oh, Jeremiah will not put his elbow there. Like, he won't do that. And then, two, they just said he works hard. You can't instill that in people. There's just, some people have it, some people don't. So when I heard that, I was like, oh, I love hard workers. I was like, oh, that's it. I'm a J-Mac fan. I'm all in. So it's just, I thought you would like to hear that. It was,
that's
like
cool.
10 months ago, a year ago.
Because you kind of came out of nowhere. Like, I'd seen some of your show and stuff, and then I've been following. I think I came up to you at one event, and I was like, hey, man, I just want you to know, like, I'm going to start whooping people's asses so you start paying attention to me. And then after that, you just, like, kept on following me. I'm like, I like this guy. And,
I'm very
that's
likable.
crazy. No, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So, and then I looked up it's combat night, and I talked to Ramon Tavares about it, and he kind of had the same thing, kind of like the combat night upbringing.
Yeah.
And just kind of what is that? Is that how important is that to have that relationship with a promoter, with a promotion like Combat Night? Is that something that you feel, I like this, I keep it going, 4-0, man, Dana White Contender Series, a lot of people last summer 5-0, 5-1, 6, like you guys are both right there. Like maybe one, maybe two more, you know what I mean? And you could be that call, especially, Florida's hot. Florida's got a ton of momentum. We talked about that all summer long, I felt like. With Hannah and, when Brock was going and Phil was going up there and just, Perry was winning fights. It was just crazy. Mike was winning fights. Mike in the UFC. It was just like a great, great summer for Florida MMA. Yeah, but, like, what can you say about Combat Night to, all that moment? Undefeated, 4-0. How important is it to you? Is it something you might want to try another promotion, one or two, just to feel it out or feel a bigger ring or octagon? Or is it, no, like if I go up 6 or 7-0 Combat Night, I'm good?
I'm honestly cool with that.
Yeah.
I've kind of told Mitchell this, and I've told my coaches. I've talked to Pete briefly about it. Like, I'll go wherever people are loyal to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you keep on bringing me on your show. You take care of me every single time. I'm going to keep on fighting for you. Right. Every opportunity I've had with them has, obviously furthered my career. So if they keep on taking care of me like I know they will, then I'll stay with them until I get my shot.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Loyalty goes both ways. And
right.
They definitely make sure that every single time, like, they hit me up. I never have to hit them up and be like, hey, I want to fight, or please give me a fight. Mitchell will hit me up like months in advance and say, hey, you want to fight? Are you interested? Cool. If so, then talk to your manager and everything.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, that's the plan right now. I'll stay fighting for Combat Night as long as they'll have me. And
yeah. And especially they're paying $8,000 and $8,000, so you're good. They haven't came through yet.
Did you not know Mitchell?
I wasn't gonna go there.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I'll go there all day.
That's one thing. Just as a fighter, just to not have anything, and then just like someone's gonna hand you, just like, you fight this guy, they're gonna give you $800, and you're like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so cool. But like I always see, I hear other guys how much they are getting. Like sometimes it's 3-3. Pete always, he has his way of just instilling himself on Mitchell, and just he'll ring him out and get like an extra 100 or whatever. And yeah.
Thank you, Pete.
We talk about a lot of time. We talk a lot about first round management and just how much, like. And I kept on bringing up the dang analogy, and I know you're going to dislike this so much. Like, the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, New England Patriot thing, like, Tom Brady's really good player, would be, maybe a borderline Hall of Famer if he was a Charger.
I do this all the time. I'm a Tom Brady hater.
Who do you like?
I just hate Tom Brady, bro. I drink Haterade all day. I have no problem. I'm a LeBron and Tom Brady Haterade drinker, and I admit it all day long. He's a great person. But damn his basketball.
Listen, he's a horrible.
You know who's your team though?
Oh, I used to be a Dolphins fan, so obviously I hate Brady ever since he became Bledsoe. Ever since Bledsoe hurt himself, because he broke his pinky toe or some shit and didn't want to play anymore. I blame it all on Bledsoe. It's all Drew Bledsoe's fault.
So you're a Miami fan. I'm a Redskin fan.
I used to be. Now I'm a fantasy football player and I follow players.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'm a player follower. And
I'm a fantasy fan over a Redskin fan.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. There's another dude right here. He feels me. I play fantasy, bro. That's what I play.
Pick up Tom Brady?
Oh, I have him on my team. I hate Tom Brady. I'm not a hypocrite. I say this every time. I hate Tom Brady, but the man can play football. He's the greatest quarterback ever.
That's one of.
Stop. He's the greatest quarterback.
No, he's the great. My main point of all this is management. Like
It is what it is. He's the great. I hate him. Oh, fly me there and I'll punch him in the face and get the show, bro. I'm not Square.
No, don't do that. We need you on the show, bro. Don't do that.
Yeah, we need you. Like what?
I like the
That was.
pizza.
Hey, Pete gets another 100. FRM to get the right fights. For Phil Rowe, for Mike Perry. Mike Davis with FRM, and just with see how hot Jorge's been. The right fights at the right time. Like I think that's one of the most underrated parts about mixed martial arts is knowing kind of when to fight or who to fight at what time, and to know where you're at, and of course to get more money. I know some promoters will not like what I think. Definitely at that right now 4-0. I think younger professional fighters don't get paid enough.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Is that taboo to say? I don't want to get.
I'm letting everyone know.
Just tell Dean Toole, Mitchell Schwartz. Let them know that. Well, Dean, you ain't paying nothing.
Let's
Let's get out of the camera right now. We're not in this.
They're gonna be like, David. Oh, they're gonna call me on the way home. You guys.
Mitchell, thank you for
Yes, thank you, Mitchell.
no complaints, bro.
No thanks, Mitchell. We need more money.
It's so great. Like they're.
So we're pro fighter, right?
Oh, I'm 100%. I think I'm too pro. Or I don't think. I'm just
We're
pro fighter.
guys, so we're it's okay. We'll
Like, I
take
just
we'll,
think it's-
we'll take care of this. We need to get him more money.
Yeah.
Me and Bubba want to fight in February, so we're chilling out right now.
Or Orlando.
Wherever the next one is.
Yeah.
I think it might be Tallahassee.
Oh yeah, February 15th,
Yeah.
Tallahassee.
I like Tallahassee.
Yeah, not bad.
Both these guys need 2 fights before May next year. I'd like to get both of them to 6-0.
Yeah.
And then I have, both of them will have a legit shot at the contender next year if I get them to 6-0.
Hell yeah.
See what happens.
Sabrina goes, Bubba, your fantasy team is so bad.
Oh my gosh.
Bro, are
Smiley
you
face,
losing
smiley
too?
face.
Oh my god, it's.
Are you making the
I
playoffs,
picked
to be honest?
so I gotta win out.
I
gotta
do too,
win
I
out.
do too,
So I think
I
I'm at a situation where I'm like
I'm just sitting
Shut
pretty,
up.
man.
Shut up.
4 and 6 or something like that. But the
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
is, it's like I got a solid team. Devontae Adams, with his toe, and he's been injured, and I got T.Y. Hilton, not doing as well as I thought. I drafted Andrew Luck
Yeah, that's a bummer.
2 days before he retired.
That's a bummer.
But I was lucky because someone, for some reason, Sabrina's fiance, he had dropped Tom Brady, or not Tom Brady. He dropped Drew Brees
Ooh, what?
because he got
Oh,
hurt.
the hurt.
So he
yeah.
dropped him and thinking no, and I picked up. Of
course.
But the thing is, I started him for the first time last week, and
Busted on you versus
yeah,
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Bro,
It's a fantasy football podcast now.
Oh, it can be whatever.
Oh,
it
of
wants
course,
to be.
yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I want to talk about Marvel movies sooner or later. You know me.
Let's do it, but
Disney
I have
Plus.
an okay team.
Thank you.
It's
And
incredible.
I'm so
I put
excited.
up points a lot.
I haven't
and then all
stopped.
of a sudden one week I'll put up nothing. Like I'll put up 140, and I'll have the best team, and then all of a sudden next week I'm putting up 62, and I'm like, this is some bullshit.
I'm the second highest point getter in my league, and I'm 8th to last. I'm 8th or 7th, I think.
That happens too. Like it's crazy when that
I
happens.
lost 4 games by 2 points or less.
That's terrible. Isn't it horrible? It's like heart. I wake up in the morning. No,
Dean, we need more money. David says, "Oh, T2, I missed everything. I messed up my fantasy team, grabbing Mountaineers. Man, people bashing on Bubba tonight. I like it.
Wait, what?
I messed up my fantasy team, grabbing Mountaineers.
They're coming for you.
Yeah, they're coming for you. You said you had such a good story. I thought they would be pro Bubba tonight, but
That's okay.
Bubba's the heel. Okay, let's talk about Disney Plus. Oh my goodness,
Bro, I watched the
Talk
Mandalorian.
about this.
I watched the Mandalorian the other night.
Oh, yeah, how was it?
I still haven't watched it yet.
That's
Oh,
the
dude,
stuff.
it's dope.
I gotta check
What
it
is
out.
it?
It's
Yeah,
dope.
Yeah.
It's the new Star
it
Wars,
catches
like
you.
a
I've been
series.
watching all the
I've never
old
seen-
Disney
Yeah, I'm not a
movies,
Star
so
Wars guy.
I gotta
The
get on
first
it.
episode blew me away.
No,
This
you-
guy was making fun of it.
Old
earlier, but-
X-Men.
I just never heard
No, 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 your
Star
son.
Wars, bro.
Wait.
Yeah, this is Star Wars. Mandalorian is Star Wars. You can't make fun of Star Wars.
Dean Toole said, "Congrats on the W."
Thank you, Dean. Appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Bubbles, you were going to fight on that show, the last one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
if
we
this
had.
is new, but I didn't say anything.
Hey, we'll go back to Disney Plus. I promise.
Yeah, we had a couple people. So basically, I'm
It was,
blessed to have Pete because Pete always is the guy that, I don't have to do really. I mean, I just go and train. Pete's like, hey, there's an opportunity to fight this. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, let's do it. So then I don't have to worry about any of that. But yeah, that was the thing. We had an opponent, and then Pete did his research and found, he's like, I think your guy broke his hand. And I'm like, how do you know that? We pull up a video. Dude's in the hospital with a swollen hand, broke his hand, so he didn't get to fight. The other guy ended up hurting his knee. And
nobody told us, Dean.
But no, just
that Socrates Pierre was going to show up the day of weigh-ins. You were like, all right, I guess I'm going. You know.
But no, either way, I mean, it's just kind of whatever's there, whatever's presented. So I would love. I mean, everyone's like, oh, you don't want to fight in a ring because it's, you need the cage and it's different. It's harder to get takedowns. It's a fight,
right?
And
so I've been probably to the last 5 or 6 island fights in a row, and I talked to almost every single fighter. It's kind of one of the main questions. It reminds us of the Pride ring, and we always talk about it. Mike is like island fights bred. Like, how is it to fight in that ring? How is it different to fight in an octagon? And probably 9 out of every 10 they love it. Like, they really like it.
Huge though.
Yeah.
Like when you look at a regular standard like pro cage around here for most of the shows, they're probably no more than 20 feet maybe.
Yeah, they're small. Yeah,
they're kind of small, right? That ring is 30 feet.
Those are wrestling cages.
Yeah, they're made to grapple. Like even kickboxing gets crowded in there sometimes. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's just
that ring is humongous.
That ring is huge. That ring is 30 feet. When you sit across on your little stool over there and you're looking at somebody else, you're like. Little walking ways. All right, so they can't hear a damn thing.
Yeah,
that's true.
Hook, jab.
I can yell in the corner right now. That dude can't hear nothing. That's how far away they are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the ring, it's different. And honestly, once you get the takedown, the ring helps because you can move your leg around the ropes. You can
no cage
and get those angles and those things. You can slide. And I've seen Mike take somebody's back way easier, than. With the leg, because he doesn't have to squeeze against the cage to fit it in. It just goes.
That's true.
The ropes just slide.
Oh yeah.
And he takes it quick. You know what I mean? But also at the same time, it can help the guy from getting taken down. He can sit on a rope real quick, things like that. So it helps both ways. But at the same time, it's a lot of room to work.
It's a lot of room. It's a Lucas Alexander ring.
Great timing
I
with
love
the
that
wrestling
ring
and
for
everything
you.
in the middle of the ring.
Yeah,
bro, it's going to take him a long time to get to a damn rope to try to do anything. And wall walking now, it helps.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it gives both ways. I just like the fact that it's big. I think it's a little bit better. You got to have a little bit more room in this type of sport, I think, for that. You know what I mean? Just to make it a little bit.
And it's like, to me, it's a little bit, you're getting ready. Everyone I talk to, usually it's UFC, and then, if it is PFL or Bellator or anything like that, that ring is more room, bigger room. It's like getting you ready for the pros. It's getting you ready for the UFC. You know what I mean? It's like, that's what I kind of...
Because now you get a guy who has footwork and can move and can defend a takedown. You better make sure you're timing it right, do what you got to do. And also, if you get a person, that's a striker and a guy that can cut off a ring the right way, the square makes it a little bit easier to cut off angles. So it just all depends on what you're looking at.
Okay. All right. The one we kind of went past it. What's your origin story? Where's your comic book start? How'd you become a fighter?
I just, for me, like growing up, I was always like kind of around it. I would box and stuff, but I was actually talking to Bubba about it before weigh-ins. After weigh-ins, I was like the worst, like with dieting growing up. So in result, I was like a really fat kid. So I was constantly messed with and stuff like that. Boo-hoo.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
Have you seen?
Yeah.
I see this big guy. I saw a video of this big guy,
yeah, I was like 300 pounds.
80 pounds, and you're like, that's Jeremiah.
Yeah.
Jeremiah
My first
who?
fight was a heavyweight.
Jeremiah McDougall. I'm like, that's not Jeremiah. He's like, yeah, it's like a couple years ago.
I showed you that picture, didn't I?
Really?
Yeah.
You got it?
Yeah.
I think so.
Wow, no,
Congratulations, man. That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
But
awesome.
you see the athleticism though. You saw like he's still got hands though.
Yeah.
It's just it didn't fit because it's like, just imagine you have like a guy that's real fluent and can move well and light on his feet, but in a huge body.
Andy Ruiz Jr. What are we talking about here, bro? Come on, man.
No,
He's about to knock Joshua out again. Let's put something.
I agree.
Thank you. I'm telling you, Andy Ruiz Jr. What's wrong? Go get it.
He's gonna get it.
Mexican, bro.
It's hard to beat somebody second time. I think
Yeah, in the first, he's gonna get dropped in the first 4.
No.
He might get dropped. He got back up and knocked him out.
Dropped and done.
I don't give a
done.
damn about him getting dropped.
Finished.
He's a tough kid, man. He's a
Finish.
tough guy,
He
but-
can.
I'm excited to see
What
it.
you know, I'm telling you, here's the secret to it. Here's the secret. Tell me if I'm wrong. Okay. This is the secret, and this is why it's going to be hard to not get hit again, is because no matter what, those gloves are at least 3 to 4 sizes smaller because they're all 10 ounces. But how big are his hands compared to Andrew Ruiz's hands? So those gloves are tinier. He can get into those little crevices where that big boxing glove leaves a little open hole a little bit more. He can get there. Those gloves are a lot smaller if you look at the size difference when you see Joshua's gloves and you see Andy Ruiz. And Andy Ruiz throws punches in bunches. He throws like an amateur style boxing. And it's not being mean when he says it. You can actually ask him. He'll sit there and he's like real tight guard, throws a real clean jab, comes in, moves his head, and when he gets inside, he's letting him go.
Yeah.
And it's just that quick. And that's an amateur boxing heavyweight style. When you fight bigger people, that's just what it is. Clean jab, head move. And it's just going to be hard for him to do it. If he doesn't correct that punching down, like he was doing, and keeping that chin high, if he doesn't correct that and realize he needs to change levels to jab this man, I got Amy.
Wow.
Yeah.
We have to put like a dinner on it or something.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Shit,
I'll
I
jump
still
on
forgot
it.
you damn drink.
I know.
Damn.
Yeah.
I was supposed to bring alcohol.
I'll jump
You gotta,
in on
you
that.
gotta listen to his.
Yeah. So you weigh 286, and
Yeah.
and so you kind of boxed when you were a kid.
Yeah, I boxed and I was like involved with martial arts and stuff, but
Where at?
in Ocala.
Ocala. Okay.
Yeah, in Ocala.
All right.
But man, I had like the worst diet like in the world, and that was my fault. No one else's. But I would eat like ice cream for breakfast. Man, I would have like 3 packs of ramen noodles for breakfast before school. You know what I'm saying? I was just.
I don't know about the ramen noodles, but what's wrong with ice cream for breakfast?
I agree. I mean, I can do it now because I mean I work out all the time. But yeah, so I just did that, man. I was like all throughout high school, I just like laid low, you know, and then my coach at the time, I just turned 18. I was still in high school. He's like, "Do you want to fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I want to
Coach,
fight."
boxing coach?
It was actually MMA. I was at a small MMA gym, Team Trauma in Ocala.
Yeah.
And yeah, you heard of them, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And
did you train with Stefan?
yes, yeah, Stefan, that's my big brother.
The gym for
Reese Ruggs?
Reese.
Reese.
Yeah.
he
Slugger, yeah.
He's doing
Yeah.
Yeah, Slugger.
Yeah, he's doing a hell of a job, man. Now he
Yeah.
has his own truck business and everything.
Yeah, he's a
train with him.
monster. Yep.
Cool.
And so yeah, my coach was like, "Do you want to fight?" I'm like, "Yeah, absolutely, I would love to." And he was like, "All right, well, I need you to lose some weight because you're way too big right now." So my first fight was at 240. Fought another grown man. I was still in high school, so I'm like, what am I doing? I'm about to fight this grown ass man in front of all my like peers and stuff, you know?
Right.
So, yes, that was me. Yeah.
Crazy.
You gotta get the video of him.
trying to-
Oh yeah,
That's crazy.
it's on YouTube. If you look up Jeremiah McDougall first MMA fight, it's on there.
Yeah, make sure you subscribe to the Fight Bananas YouTube channel. Okay.
Yes, do that too.
Absolutely.
But long story short, I went out there and fought this dude, and I knocked him out in 2 minutes. And then after that, I was just like, yeah, no, he's not wrong though. So, of
I'm
course,
so sorry.
Bro.
I'm not gonna say it out loud, but I'm just saying, is that true?
that was my
Do you see-
nickname.
it-
Dude, that
really?
was my nickname in high school. It was so bad. Yeah.
I just looked up and I was like, holy shit.
You should see these guys in the gym.
Oh,
Like,
man.
The first time, it was ATT Longwood, and the way they're speaking to each other, you're like, they're about to fight each other. You know, and I'm like getting ready to like jump in, and I'm like sitting there like, is this normal? Like they're about to square off, but then all of a sudden like, yo man, like calm down. He's like, no, we're just kidding, we're just playing. Every day, too. Matt Ferriero.
Yeah.
He's just
All
so
the
easy to
time.
talk shit to. Look at him.
I love
Have you guys seen that guy?
They're back and
Nikki
forth.
and Matt were here like a
They're
month
back
ago.
and forth
like,
and fun.
like, yeah, they were in here.
It's so nice of you to allow people like that to come on your show.
I love it.
It's so sweet.
I love it.
We're giving
Was
back,
it
you know,
like
we
was
gotta
it was it like a special wish from him or something?
Oh, that's great. How long have you known him?
Too long. Honestly.
He's fighting December 7th, Coconut Creek.
Yeah, I'm excited
Combat
to see him
night.
fight.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, like he's a monster. I'm really looking forward to seeing him fight.
He actually,
Yeah.
Matt's story. Did he tell you how he came to Fusion?
Yeah.
He used to be a big freelancer, obviously.
Yeah, he told us
used
that
to jump
one.
from gym to gym and whatever it is, and then him and Phil Rose talked a little bit. Him and I spoke, and I said, "Bro, just come and just make a home out of someplace," you know.
Yeah.
So he's actually gotten a lot better, and he's focused, and he kind of lost that will to fight for a little bit, and all of a sudden he's begging me for a fight every day. Almost.
Yeah.
So,
And Facebook.
what's that?
And everyone on Facebook
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
So you fought 18, 19 years old, first amateur fight?
Yeah,
as
18.
in a heavyweight.
Yeah, I was still in high school. I fought at heavyweight, and then I was like,
And then
damn.
you just kept on working down?
Yeah, I kept. My next fight was at 205, then 195, and then I found a home at 170, and just felt good there.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I just trained and just fought everyone. I mean, I had like 15 amateur fights before I even turned pro.
But you're 172, right?
Yeah. Got a lot of 170s in the gym.
Yeah. Mike, you two guys, Phil. We got to do a round robin. Like we'll do a Saturday. We'll do a Fight Bananas show in the at Fusion. We'll get a sponsor. We'll get like Instill Nutrition to sponsor it.
It's actually funny how
let's get a G on it, and then winner takes all.
It's funny that you brought that up because like how I got into Fusion because I've been training at ATT Longwood for the last couple of years. That's who I started with, and I was just like, Julian's never shy to tell me how he feels about anybody. So he comes up to me and he's like, I just want you to know, like, you have great striking, and I'm really impressed. But your jiu-jitsu is the worst fucking jiu-jitsu I've ever seen in my life. He's like, it's terrible. He's like, my son has better wrestling than you. He's like, so you should probably work on that.
He's like 4 or 5
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. And so
Sounds like 2 right now, or 3.
yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's what I was dealing with. So I go up to Julian at one of these fights. I'm like, hey, I just want you to know I quit my job. And I'm moving back to Ocala, but I'm going to be training with you guys now, if that's cool, if you'll have me. So he says to me flat out, he's like, man, I'll believe that when I see it. I was like, okay. I was like, I'm going to be there. He's like, let me tell you something. If you're not there in the next 2 weeks, I'm going to tell Mitchell Shamali to match you and Bubba Scheffel up. And I was like, Monday morning, I walked in that gym. I was like, yo, bro, I'm here. Don't do that shit to me, man. I was like, I'm here.
But the thing is like, he's very modest, but he helps me with striking, and same thing. I help him with wrestling and stuff. So we can complement each other pretty well.
It is
Perfect match.
Yeah.
I want to say this. You got to talk about Jeremiah being like the kind of like the future or whatever it is. So Jeremiah came to us maybe less than a year ago, I guess.
Hey, come in here. Come in here.
Do I come in?
Yeah, come in real quick. You gotta tell the story. So all the podcasts and iHeartRadio, and they hear you.
Subscribe, guys.
Subscribe to Fight Bananas, right? No, so Jeremiah came in, and he actually came up to me at combat night after one of his fights and said the same thing. He said he was going to come to Fusion. I'm going to be part of the team now. And I remember Julian telling me that he was as well. But since he's been there, I will say he's probably the most improved student that we've got. And like you said, he was 300 pounds or 286 pounds, and he works hard. Every time he's at a fight camp, he's one of the hardest working guys there in the morning, sometimes at night, and he works, and he's trying to take care of a lot of different things. So I will say that Jeremiah is definitely, I mean, if we were to give a most improved award in the past year, Jeremiah would probably get it, to be honest with you. So
Thanks, man.
That's awesome.
He was pretty good when he showed up. You know.
Man, 170. Yeah, that's pretty thick there, Fusion.
You guys could actually do that, though. Like, you talk about if you could give out an award, your team's large enough to where you guys could have a banquet.
Well, a Christmas party, December 21st.
Yeah.
you're invited, right? You're invited.
Yes, I am.
You gotta come. It's always interesting.
It's like
yeah, definitely an interesting
interesting
party for sure.
Y'all about to see a whole other side of me.
after a win, Christmas party. I know I'm trying to, and then I was trying to get a babysitter, but the babysitter's going to the party. I was like, damn, this is tough. Yeah, we'll make it happen, man. I got to get out there
Dean,
for that.
Dean asked us I've actually had like 3 promotions call me up for fighters on either December 20th or 21st. I was like, no, we're taking that's like a fusion party. We're not doing anything. So I told Dean to move his event to my house, and
It's a good idea.
yeah, I told him it'd actually be pretty lit. Bring the cage or the ring in there.
I know that would be nice. That's the same day.
That would help. Said I wouldn't have
yeah.
to travel that far.
I know. I might be having. I don't think I'm going to that because there might be babies popping out. You know?
Really?
Yeah, man.
Twins.
You guys are pregnant?
Congratulations.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh,
Wife is
congratulations, bro.
pregnant with
The
twins.
house is now
Twins.
Twin girls.
Dang.
Good for you.
Yeah, man. We went for it.
You already have kids?
Yeah, 2 boys. So like I think I was like God put me on this planet to be a father of a girl. Like I just think that's like my calling in life. So I think I'm okay with the boys. We wrestle and play.
The girl, everything.
Oh,
you
yeah.
have twin girls, bro. You're gonna be broke. You're not gonna say no. You're not gonna say no.
I don't say no to the boys.
That's what I'm saying.
So the girls,
Man, it's gone.
yeah.
How old are the boys?
7.5 and 2.5.
Okay.
So we
2.5
basketball
is already the
wrestle.
UFC champion of the world.
Yeah?
Dude,
He's
that
got
boy
a
can
future.
throw. Yeah, Dylan is.
He wants every time. Box, fight,
Yeah,
box.
yeah. He's already
In the gym,
blocking,
Matt.
putting his hands up. I got a
Nice.
little head
You should
movement.
see Cassius. Cassius is in there. Julian's son.
Yeah.
He's like double-legging people. He's kicking, punching the bag. He's there more than
Yeah.
all the fighters.
Yeah, he's the most.
Yeah.
He's the most trained child.
December 21st, Jay Will, I'm calling you out. My son versus your son. In a ring, 2 minutes, winner takes all.
Dang.
3 G's on it.
This might be illegal, but whatever. Let's just go.
Yeah, I'm not sure we can sanction that or not.
We're about to get shut down.
I know.
on Facebook.
Jeff Bezos is going to shut it all down. He's Facebook, right? Or he's Amazon?
I don't know who that is.
Jeff Bezos?
Amazon?
Yeah, he's Amazon. Jeff Bezos?
Like the
Oh,
richest
yeah,
man in the world.
Yeah.
It doesn't pay taxes, right?
No.
I heard Amazon don't pay taxes. They got like some tax break free.
Are they a non-profit like the NFL?
I don't know.
Because the NFL's a non-profit.
Are
Is
they
it really?
Y'all didn't know that?
Well,
Nah.
they do. Yeah, they do because they do share. They do share earnings, right?
I don't know what it is, but it's
Yeah.
definitely a non-profit, bro. And it's like,
Because it's all share profits.
I get there's a technicality in the law, but I'll call it something else. Don't call it non-profit. There are people making billions, bro.
Yeah.
Them owners and all the whole thing, they're people they're printing money.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's a
Goodell
non-profit.
makes
crazy.
like $40 million a year.
Just saying, bro. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Makes what?
Like $40 million a year.
Commissioner?
Yeah, the commissioner.
Damn.
printing money.
Yeah.
Printing it.
Isn't that insane?
Thursday night, Sunday night, Monday night.
Yeah, game
Just
right now.
print
It's
money.
like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, I think.
And
Oh, yeah, who's winning that game? I got money on that game.
Ain't doing a damn
Really?
thing.
What was the line?
It was Cleveland by 3.
Minus Cleveland's the favorite?
Cleveland was the
oh,
favorite.
you put money on Pittsburgh then. Pittsburgh
I'll
plus
take
3.
that bet. You want to bet it now?
I haven't. Oh no! Here we go.
We heard this on the ride down.
I haven't seen
We don't.
anything until now.
Okay. Oh, you saw something now?
I think I just saw.
But you're looking now.
Yeah.
No, but did I not? I bet it in the car.
He
all
bet
the
it
way
in the
here.
car. He took
Before the game,
Cleveland.
I took Cleveland
He
minus
took Cleveland. Yeah, he did.
I did. I bet it straight up. Cleveland minus. Actually, I took Cleveland to win the game, and I gave up the minus 130.
They're
score?
doing good.
14-0.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
And Nick Chubb ain't got neither one of them damn touchdowns.
Wait, no, he did. He got the first one, didn't he?
He didn't. It's 2.2. That's all I got. 2.2.
This man's all fans, especially Thursday nights too. He's all in.
It sucks.
Listen, man, primetime games, like whatever is supposed to happen, bet the opposite. And I've just done that, and I'm probably saying like 80% of the time that's what happens.
Really?
Yes.
You gotta
Do it because I'm just trying to beat some
call or
people.
text Dean Tool up.
You
guys will have fun.
Trophy that says
I'm
I'm the
sure.
champion for that year.
We have we did and we never got anyone to do it. We have like a punishment for whoever, like the
That's what I'm trying to do,
winner
too.
gets like $20 or something, but like the loser has to sing, like whoever gets last has to sing karaoke, like in a crowded bar of like whoever like the rest of the fantasy group decides whatever song. So the one
TLC
year
Waterfalls.
The one year
Great
it
song.
was my friend Justin had taken last, and the song was Cat Dog, the Cat Dog theme song. I wasn't there to witness it, but I heard he did it.
Did they record it?
No.
I would have never thought of like getting a random. I would have picked some horrible song like that's a real music song,
yeah,
like
of course.
Cat Dog. That's great.
Man.
I'd be impressed with whoever can actually like go along with that. That's a hard one to sing.
Right?
They gotta have a.
Yeah, sorry, my girlfriend was. Yeah.
J-Mac's getting a lot of love, and then Bubba's getting a lot of
So that
people
that,
just
that
want
brings
to
up the
throw.
question.
Bubba.
You have a girlfriend then?
Yes.
So-
yeah, Chloe, the one commenting.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
shout out to her.
Okay,
for
so
putting up my ass for. The
so
past
you're gonna
10
fight
months.
on February 15th?
Yes.
So you're eating a salad on February 14th when you take her out?
Oh shit.
Oh damn! I was
Yeah.
waiting for that.
You know what though?
I wasn't gonna
It's
bring it
not
up.
even-
Random. I wasn't gonna bring it up without the
It's
knowledge.
not even.
That's
that
why
big
he's
of
the
a deal.
professor. That's why I
That's
call
why
him
I
that. Like
I wasn't gonna bring
I
it
don't
up
know what
until
I'm doing this
my
weekend.
Man, that's not
Your
even.
girlfriend, I mean.
It's not that. I mean, it won't be that bad. Like, I got to give a shout out to her, man, because like our anniversary was a week before my last fight, and dude, I wasn't expecting what I got. She buys like this fancy dinner, makes it all for me, and it's like steak dinner, perfect, and she buys me the UFC pay-per-view event. She's like, happy anniversary. I was like, I love you, and you're gonna be the future.
Wow,
my
yeah,
future
just
baby mama. So,
Put a
yeah.
put a ring on it, man. Put a ring on it. She bought you a UFC. Like put a
I
ring
know,
on
right?
it.
I was
Yeah.
like, damn.
That's awesome.
This is the
I was
greatest anniversary
the
ever.
steak dinner. I think is just still just as good.
Oh, it was amazing.
Yeah, that's what
man.
I'm saying. It's good.
That's a good woman right there.
Yeah,
So
that's
thank
pretty
you.
good. Yeah, my girl bought me Wawa once.
Nice.
Yeah, kept her.
Nice.
I love Wawa, so.
Really?
Oh yeah.
And
Love
that and Dunkin'. If you guys ever want to get him a card or anything like that for some reason.
Yeah, Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee.
Donuts.
Probably 2-3 times a day.
I always go for Jeremiah's or Chipotle when I got to get my girl gifts.
So
The
you're going to
Chipotle.
be eating salad, too.
Oh, yeah.
We're in the same
There
boat.
you go. Say hi.
Oh, you ain't getting out of this shit.
I don't know.
No.
I
In
might
Tallahassee.
pick
It's
it.
a 175. We're good.
Okay, so that's actually two things that we've talked. By the way, this is the 99th episode. We got the 100th episode. I already recorded it. I'm going to put it out, the person who it was. I'm going to put it out tomorrow. I'm going to put the podcast out on Monday. But 100 episodes, bro. Pretty crazy, right?
Good for y'all.
We just
How long
run
ago
it.
did you guys start?
Guys, it's okay. I just thought about it. The fight's on the 15th, right? So you're weighing in on the 14th. Go kill it.
Oh,
Yeah, after you weigh in and then you go to
You
Longhorn.
just can't go out
Alright.
until after you weigh in, bro.
That's perfect.
That's it. It works.
That's
My
perfect.
Mitchell
sorry,
does
I
the
forgot.
first at 1 o'clock too.
Oh, that's even
Oh,
He just
I'm sorry.
drags it
I
out.
forgot. I
until
didn't want to
4.
scare you.
His weigh-ins are longer than a UFC event.
It's okay, ladies.
Crazy.
They're okay. You're gonna have a smorgasbord because they're gonna weigh in first, and then they're gonna it's gonna be amazing.
man.
There you go. So you're good. I'm sorry.
You just saved it.
Go to is it good? Where's it at? Where's
I'm not
it
going
at?
to
Tally, it is in Tallahassee.
Tallahassee?
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I,
know
don't
all
know
the
where
kids.
to
I
eat
know
in
all the kids,
Tallahassee.
but
So
You
my
guys
girl-
have fun.
Well, my girl lives in Tallahassee, so
Oh, yeah?
yeah, we know. I got us.
Okay.
We know where to go, man.
There we
Sounds
go.
good.
It's gonna be the best.
Boom. Done. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
I might-
scare you.
No,
That might
you're
be
good.
my return match. That might be my return.
So what's the
MMA
100th
event.
episode? Is it your son versus Cassius? Is that what it is?
That would be a good one. No, it's already in the bank. It's
okay.
Recorded it yesterday.
It's a secret?
Until
Yeah, it
after.
sounds like
Yeah, yeah,
sounds
it's a
like
little
it's
bit of a secret.
Okay.
them.
It's
I
a
gotcha.
yeah. We'll talk off
You know
the air.
secret?
Yes.
Yeah. I sent him a video of
I had
the
to.
female UFC fighter.
I said yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Just
Before
I'm
you
hitting
said
it.
all of that,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
said
I'm
yes
just hitting
already.
it. No, but anyways, this 100 episodes, crazy. Okay. So the two main things we've been talking about almost all the episodes. One is weight, and two is a MMA scoreboard. So let me start with the weight because you just mentioned 175. Mitchell was in here and kind of an idea that we kind of threw out. Okay, if you fight at 170, our idea is whenever you sign a contract, if it's 2 months out, short notice fight, 9 days out, whatever it is, Mike Davis 4 days out versus Thomas Skipper, whatever it is, you have to be 15 pounds within any weight class you're in. So if you fight at 205, you got to be 220, lightweight, 155.
So like a modified, like 1FC kind of?
Yeah,
You should only be able to cut 15 pounds.
exactly.
Okay.
You guys like that?
Well, here's the thing about it. I think it's proportion. I think it should be a percentage, not necessarily 15 pounds. Because if you're a featherweight,
yeah.
if you're a 125er, and you're a 140, I get it. But if you're a heavyweight or you're a 205er and 220, the percentages don't make sense. You see what I'm saying? So
Well,
I
also,
think,
that's why I think that the
Right.
the weight
That's a good one. I
categories
never
need to
heard that. I never
change.
heard that.
It needs to. You need to add a 165, put a 175, make it 185, go to 195.
and then you're just doing boxing, man. I mean,
But the problem is there's just the gaps. You have these things, and my problem is I'm more worried about the human body than I'm more worried about making it look like boxing. It's not boxing. It's never going to be boxing. We're different than boxing. It is what it is when it comes to that. The weight categories make more sense, and they're healthier for the athletes. You're going to get massive competitors to hit either one. It doesn't matter. Now the jumps are easier. Now if you want to have more super fights, all you do is just flood the market with more. And now you have different champions. You have more to do. Everybody likes a super fight, bro. Everybody likes champion versus
Yeah,
champion.
yeah.
It's just more. It can work,
But
it
what-
just makes it easier for them to reach the goal that they're trying to reach. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than kill their body.
Sure. But I'm just saying, a 125 or 10% of his weight is 12.5%. 10% of your body weight at 205, it's 20 pounds. So that's why I'm saying that that's the difference that you deal with. So I think if you say a percentage, then I'm with you.
That's not bad. That's not bad. 10%.
A fixed weight
Well, then
might be a little more tight.
Pete's the number guy.
No,
Yeah,
I get what I understand exactly
I
what
like
you're
that.
saying there, but it also depends on framework, right? Like as far as the frame of the body. Because you look at 20% of John Jones, he's a tall, lankier 205er, right? But then you look at a shorter one like Ilar Latifi, who's a shorter. You know what I'm saying? That they're still there. So we can go into the science and the numbers of it all.
Sure.
I think if you add the weight categories, we can, make it
If you
even.
add the weight categories,
You can make it a
tell
lot
me
even.
Exactly.
And
yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
And
I
then
think that's where it
nobody
needs to
really
be.
has to cut weight. If you're doing a completely different I mean, if you're doing in 10-pound increments, say for instance, you got a 175, 165, 155, 145. Then you're talking about like people don't have to cut as much weight, and
that's better.
I agree with that.
I think you're going to get people. I think you're going to get people like Jorge Masvidal. You're going to get people who fight around a natural weight that realize, oh, I can fight at this natural weight, like Israel Adesanya is an undersized.
Yeah.
If you want to look at it.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Kevin Gastelum is an undersized middleweight, and they're doing great.
Right.
Like, I mean, Kevin Gastelum is a beast. You know, we all know that. And Israel Adesanya is an undefeated champion now, right? And so, I think
Frank Edgar as well.
Thank you. He's finally cutting weight, like which is a shock to me because 155, he was walking around at 158. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was killing people.
Trust me, you wrestle your entire life, you get sick of.
Oh, I get it. He stopped a long time ago. I don't know why he's doing it now. I get it, bro. But I mean, because the guys are bigger nowadays, and the athletes have gone, a lot more, and he just happens to be that dude that goes, "Oh, I can go down."
Is that like the number one grind for fighters? Is the weight cut?
Oh, it sucks.
Absolutely, I hate it.
I don't know. After
I'm just like 185.
Oh, see, that's not too bad though.
185.
185. How about you, Bub?
about the same, 88.
And you're 7 years.
70, yeah.
I think it's just fresh in my mind because I had to cut to 165 for this last one, which kind of sucked.
Why is that?
That
sucks.
165.
That sucks.
It's
but
amazing. Like,
if you sit around, what I always because I keep
but
my guy.
the thing is, it used to be a problem because I was 200. Out of college.
I saw you the first time that fight where you I don't think they let you fight because you were drinking.
I had to go to the hospital
because I saw you not too long before that. I was like, damn. I was like, what did he go down to? And then I found out what he went down.
Well, luckily, I mean, because all the amateur fights, like they say, you're fighting at 170, and I was just like, it's an amateur fight, so I'm gonna weigh in 75. And hopefully they take because it was just, I mean, it was a terrible cut, and there's that certain point that you hit, and the last 10 pounds is water, but then you're still 5 over, and you're like, all right, I mean, this is as low as I'm getting. This is an amateur fight. We're not getting paid. It's.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I get it. So 185, 188 is, I think, is a perfect area to cut from there. Because if you start camp around that, you diet real slowly, be healthy with it, make you strong, make you lean, and then all of a sudden, boom, when it's time to cut, you got 12 to 13 pounds to cut. Most of it's water. You're good. And if you do it right, and I'm sure you guys are, very. Yeah. You changed your diet 100%, so you're hardcore about it.
No ice cream in the morning anymore. No ice cream.
You squeak a few by though.
I've been doing it a long time. But
Bubba does a great weight cut. So does Julie Williams. His last fight in Kansas.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll tell you what, Julian Williams taught me because I help my guys cut sometimes, like some of the guys in the gym.
Yeah, he helped me cut for this most.
So I try to help people cut as best I can, but Julian Williams probably has the best system for cutting I've ever seen in my life. So he diets to get himself. The day of weigh-ins, like 177, 178, if he weighs in at 170, he goes to sauna for literally 6 10-minute sessions. He goes 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out, 10 minutes in, 10 minutes out, 6 times, and he's on weight. He actually weighed at 169 last fight. So, I mean, he only suffers for, like, kid you not, 2 hours, 3 hours, max.
Wow.
So by the time he cuts weight, until the time he weighs in and drinks again. So he feels healthy the next day, he feels strong.
So we'll go back to the scoreboard and if we go back to weight, but we brought him up 8 times, and I know this is like a dear heart thing. Julian Williams, like, why can't that man get a UFC fight? Why can't he get a PFL $1 million contract fight? Like, what's...
Yes, PFL.
Jay Will would win a clean mill.
Is this the money
Am I off base on this?
He could win.
He would run through that PFL thing.
I want to talk about Julian for a second.
Yeah.
I've known Julian technically known Julian since like 13 or 14 years old. So I've actually known Julian. He was like the little kid when we were playing basketball to be the guy that comes on the courts and tries to play with the adults kind of thing. So, but then I saw him kind of grow up. I mean, him and I didn't hang out.
You can ball a little bit back then?
Back then, not anymore.
Okay,
I'm way fast.
Could he ball?
Julian's an athlete.
No. I heard him and
some athletes that can't hoop to save their damn life.
Listen, this is why I said I have interpreted it as he's an athlete.
And y'all are athletes as hell.
But the thing is that's what you play basketball with a wrestler. We just physical defense and tackling, and you don't even want to play anymore.
So listen, JT, you know who JT is, right?
Yeah.
JT can ball. Julian's
they were on a team together in high school.
Yeah, he played AAU, like I said, but Julian
all the Williams are super, like whatever sport they're doing.
Julian doesn't suck at anything, but he's a better grappler than he's a basketball player. Let me just say that.
He's all country.
Listen, world. For me, Julian. No, listen, Julian is like he's not like I wouldn't say the Dennis Rodman, but he's a great role play. Like, he does everything fundamentally well. You know what I'm saying? That so he'll pass the ball when he needs to. He'll shoot when he's open. He'll rebound. He's the first one up and down the court.
Charles Oakley is fundamentally well.
Yeah, he's just a big ass dude that just hurt people.
He was just a dog garbage player. He was the best garbage player that ever walked the planet.
I would say, man, he's like a.
He cleaned up the rim for you and elbowed everybody you needed and got out.
So I would say, I would say like Tim Duncan, but not as scoring. Okay, does that make sense? I would say he's
Vlade Divac.
Ooh, Vlade Divac, no.
Arvydas Sabonis.
There you go.
But okay, so Jay Will.
So I watched him grow up. I watched him grow up. He then became a coach at the YMCA. I was balling out there. He was one of the trainers. And then I really didn't see Julian for like 5, 6, 7 years until I went to SWAT, which is a gym that he was at before Fusion.
Okay.
Right? Him and a guy named Jeff owned it, or like Julian was technically one of the owners, and then Jeff was one of the guy who actually owned it and ran it, but Julian was the head jiu-jitsu guy. So I took Blake in there, my son, and started doing jiu-jitsu, and I ran into Julian. And actually, Julian was a brown belt at the time, but he was like still a beast. He was competing. He was fighting a little bit. He had just got done with, I think he just lost his first fight ever. It was a second fight at Bellator,
right.
And then he started. He kind of took some time off, which that's a whole nother issue. I think what made Julian great was the fact that he took some time off. He improved in the areas where he wasn't good, and then he got back into it, which could have hurt him a little bit as well. But anyways, long story short was Julian just became a great athlete. He started fighting, whatever it is. Julian did something that nobody does. He's so humble. He doesn't call out people, doesn't talk trash, and I think that kind of hurt him and deterred him a little bit. It's like, for instance, Phil Rowe, personality online. Everybody knew who Phil Rowe was before he even made a scene on the in UFC. You know what I'm saying? Like, he knew all the fighters. He took pictures. Julian would see Conor McGregor and he'd be like, "Hey man, what's good? How you doing?" Boom, and keep walking. He's not gonna sit there and take a picture with him. He's not gonna post it online. He's not gonna do any of that stuff. Anyways, people knew Julian's skills, so people like Mike Perry, Alex, Hannah, Bubba, whoever, Phil, came and trained with him, and they just got better and better and better. But he just never took the initiative to whatever, because he's not flamboyant, he's not whatever. And I've talked to Sean Shelby, I've talked to a couple managers, I've talked to ONE FC and so on and so forth, PFL. Ray Sefo, and everybody knows Julian. Everybody knows who he is. And the last email I got from Sean Shelby was, Julian's a great athlete. We know that he's a phenomenal person. We know he's great. But the only thing with Julian is he just waited too long to get on the scene. So Julian's 36 right now. And Sean Shelby said the only way we can get him in here, because we would want him to compete for a title, and if he did get in here right now, he wouldn't really compete for a title until he's 40, 41. If they knew the physical specimen that Julian was, they would know like a 40-41, he'd probably be the same person, you know? And my argument to them was Yoel Romero was the same way. He got into fighting late in his career. He's older.
I was going to drop right away, and then the other one was Israel. Israel was 18 months champ. And I'm not saying he had a lot of push behind him, but nowadays, like, if you go 3 or 4 in a year, tell me Julian in the 170 division goes 7-0, and you're close to a number 1 contender or a title fight
100%.
like in 18, 20 months. Like,
I mean, you put Julian in the top 10 right now. Against the top 10 right now, he beats half of them easily. Like, there's no question in our mind that he does, and he'll give the other half hell if he does it. You know what I'm saying? He'll turn heads, and everybody that knows him, all the coaches. I mean, Jorge Masvidal came and trained with him. He did great against him. I mean, just guys that have trained with him. He's down there with Damian Maia right now, you know? And Julian's out of shape, broken hand. He's training down there with Damian Maia. So, I mean, everybody, like, whoever competes with him, Jocko Ray Souza, Bubba, all these guys came, Rodolfo, they stayed because of Julian. They didn't go to other gyms because of that. So I'll boast them up a little bit because nobody else ever does, really. So,
but I think part of the problem is, and I actually got to experience this today, is Julian's gone, so he's like, "Hey, can you and Joe Penafil take care of wrestling practice today?" And I'm like, yeah, of course, I love teaching, but in that, like, everyone was matched up, and I'm supposed to tell these guys what to do.
Right.
I don't get to train, you know, because I'm trying to tell them what to do, and then I have to keep going over. I'm trying to drill. Hey, Bubba, can you come over here and help me with this? So I got to go over, and then it just matches perfectly, so I don't want to ruin a group. And then I'm supposed to run them through the drills that they're doing, and then at the end of practice, like, dang, I didn't get to train. You know, I had to coach. And he's gone every week, and he's in Brazil. And then someone needs him to come down to Miami. Leandro needs him out the country. So he's constantly doing all those things. And you can see when he leaves, not that we don't have great guys all the time. He'll have guys step in, Mike Scroy, Leo.
Jason Carapellucci is great, phenomenal coach.
But the thing is, it's just when Julian's gone, like you could see, like he's like the lifeblood, So he has like so much going on. I can't even imagine when what he has to deal with, getting fights, and all those things. So he has to worry about all that. He has to worry about running the gym, the team, coaching,
too much for his
training
own
all the
career
other
in a
guys, and how much time does he have left for himself?
Wow.
So
that's the thing about it. He sacrificed a lot. People don't understand, man. Julian can act like an asshole. He can do whatever. He's one of the most humble guys and one of the most nicest guys. He likes the fighters more than I like the fighters. And I like some of them, but I don't like all of them. I ain't gonna lie. So some of them drive my ass crazy. But he actually has a compassion for all his fighters.
Man, why are you talking about Joe Penafel like that?
I love Joe, man.
So he might say that, but
it's true.
He helps just like Julian. This guy has helped Fusion X-Cel more than anybody, So
no, but Julian has a bigger heart.
Anytime someone has a problem, like whether it's they need to take care of themselves or not, and they need to step up, Pete just has that kind heart. He likes to play like
I'm dead ass serious.
They come to him and he gives them opportunities to help themselves.
But
and at the same time, he's helped me more than so I always try to show appreciation, and it's
right.
I would say thank you, but it's just so much that I can do. He has a birthday, and what am I going to get the guy? I can't. So I always write him a card just to show him how much I appreciate.
I will say,
write a letter. Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. One of the best birthday gifts or Christmas presents I've ever got was a letter from Bubba. I actually have it in my safe.
There you go.
That's actually the best present I've ever got.
Yeah.
But it's just that when I moved down, I didn't know anybody. Julian literally let me live in his house. A man, I didn't know him. He just beat me up one time. But he's like, oh, I think you have promise, so I'm gonna let you live in my house.
He wasn't worried about you if you went rogue in the house because he knew he was gonna crucifix you.
So this is crazy. So Andrea usually his wife does the cooking and the laundry and everything.
Maybe lost without
she leaves to go. I think she went to go see her family
in Michigan.
in Michigan, and we get done training one day. And granted, we went in. Julian beat me up every single day. He
still beats him up.
Okay, I'm getting. Hey, I need to catch Julian while he's.
Side note, really quick. Julian beat up Bubba so bad one time when I was sitting down. It was a 5-minute round that he just went through the
5 minute. That was a 20.
That's what I said. It
20-some minute round.
4 times. So it was like a 21, 22-minute round.
And that's the thing is you have to use your
and
strength to keep up.
My chair
and little by little, he's more technical. So you just start drowning. You hit that 20th minute, and then it's just slaughter. You know what I'm saying?
I almost jumped out of my chair and almost tackled Julian.
But he's going to the body, he's going light to the head, and he's hurting you.
No,
and it's
shit.
It was
bad.
That's how I learned. He would leg kick me all the time, and I would be limping. And for the first day, this is I drive 16 hours from my home in Maryland, and I show up. It's Monday morning at the time. I literally get out of the car. Hey, I'm going to sparring in 2 hours. You want to come? Yeah, why not? I mean, I'm not awake, but I'll go. Let's do it. So I go, and he kicks me. I remember he side kicked me in the face, and I couldn't eat solid food for a whole 2 weeks. But anyway, back to the story though. So it was one day. His wife is gone, and he had just I don't remember what happened, but he demoralized. It was just one of those things where you just you get home from training and you just throw your stuff down, you shower, and you're just literally just going to sit there in bed, and you don't want to get up to eat. You just want to lay there. He comes in to the room I'm staying at his house, grabs his laundry, throws it on my bed, and just says, he's like, hey, wash it and fold it and put it on my bed. And I was literally in my head, I'm just this man, he's done a lot for you. He's helping you. He's your coach. You got to respect him. But listen, I went to him listen, man, I want to thank you for everything you've done, but we're gonna fight. We got to fight again because I'm not because I get if you ask me to do anything, I would do it.
Right.
But
right.
this is you. I own you, and you have to do what I say because I beat you up. And it was just all right, man. We're gonna fist fight because I'm not I can't do that. But it was kind of like a test.
Yeah.
He was playing. But
wow. One of the probably the last question, and then I definitely want you guys social media handles, plugs, any of that stuff. We'll get it all out there, promote, push. we talk about it, and it's cool having you guys in here. I think it would be UFC 270, UFC 300, whatever. Like American Top Team versus Fusion. Rufus Sport versus Hard Knocks. Like, have you guys ever thought of doing like a gym versus gym? Oh, you guys talk about it all the time?
No.
No.
Is that amazing? Is that the best idea ever?
That's
or
a good idea.
like, 8 fights. Female, you can have hand, whatever. You can have a couple welterweights, a heavyweight. Just go through the roster. And
I've been asking Mitchell Shamale for about a year now to do a Fusion against the world, kind of like set up just locally. You know what I'm saying? So anybody that wants to put their 8 guys against our 8 guys, or 9 guys and 9 guys, 10 guys, 10 guys, I'd be on to do it. So I'm down for it.
But even like,
but even the UFC,
yeah, like a bit, like in even that's like
it would be cool.
American Top Team versus Rufus, or American Top Team versus Fusion, and if it's Jacare, Perry, Rowe, Bubba, and
whoever.
yeah. Then what I mean?
It would be dope to do that. It would be pretty dope. So
that'd be cool.
You could stretch out. There's so many teams are growing now.
Yeah,
you could really you could actually.
Rufus could be.
You could pitch like
Hard
the
Knocks
summer,
could be
summer series, team versus team,
Yeah.
you know what I mean, type of thing. You could actually pitch that because there's enough big teams out there. You know what I mean? Team Alpha Male versus Greg Jackson. You know what I mean? A lot of different ones. Like you could really pin it. A lot of people are getting.
And it'd just be like
be cool.
different,
Be
unique,
cool. Yeah.
and a little bit of a hook to
Little
kind of
twist.
get some. Yeah.
Little twist.
Kind of like what they did with
That-
American Top Team versus Black Zillion.
Yeah, that was the
Ultimate
best
Fighter.
season ever.
Yeah,
that was
that
my
was
favorite
awesome.
one
Ultimate
ever.
Fighter was pretty. That was pretty
I
good.
just loved it because it was like you picked a side, episode 1 or 2, and you stayed with it, and you're like rolling. It was awesome.
Well,
American Top Team with that comeback too. They won.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Hayden Hassan, right?
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
Hassan, and he was like a no one on the show. He was like their 6th pick, and he
I thought
was
Kamaru Usman won that one.
no, he won like the whole tournament at the end, like the 1 versus 1. But the team, American Top Team, won. They were like losing the whole show, and Hassan won like 3 out of the last like 4 fights.
Oh, to get the most points.
Yeah.
With the point system. Yeah, that's right.
It was
That's right.
cool.
That's
It was
right.
cool. Let's start. Bubba, J Mac, Pete. Let's go. Handles, sponsor plugs. Tell Sean Shelby you want to fight in the summer Dana White Contender Series, May 11th. Whatever you want. Floor's yours.
I ain't got none of that. Just I guess my Instagram handle is Bubba Scheffel 170 at wait. It's not. That was my email at gmail.com. I was about to say at gmail.com, but no, just Bubba Scheffel 170.
Okay.
And then I just have Instagram. I don't have really anything. I have Facebook, so Bubba Scheffel on Facebook.
Cool. J Mac.
So JMac MMA 170. That's my Instagram. Add me on Facebook. Just don't be weird. Please don't send me stupid stuff. I hate that. Or don't message me.
Don't talk to nothing about.
Don't message me the day
Disney
of
Plus.
asking me for advice on stupid stuff. Not calling anybody out, but anyway. So just that's
Know
my
who you
handle.
are.
You know who you are. Those are my handles. Obviously, shout out to my teams. Fusion X-Cel, ATT Longwood, coaches Julian Williams, Jose Figueroa, Joey Pernia, and my manager Pete Zachary. So that's where I'm at. I'm not calling anybody out. I don't like calling out everybody because you look stupid if you get your ass kicked. So I'm gonna stay quiet. And keep
But February 15th is where both you guys kind of want to hit next.
That's where I'm down to fight. But
yeah, I need like I said, they both need fights. I need 2 fights next year, so
Right.
we'll try to get them 2 fights hopefully before May is my goal.
How about that Coconut Creek show?
I mean, listen, man, if they
December 7th,
Yeah,
boys?
man, I'm right now, man.
December this upcoming one.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's something short notice, it makes sense because remember these guys just fought, so
Yeah.
so we're like. 2
I'm
months out,
excited,
so-
yeah, to go home and relax a little
Yeah.
bit. Go,
Dave said no.
Go.
Dave said no. I said get in the ring.
Go.
Dave trying to call shots
go
over
hang
here.
out
I
with
was
my family and go
Right.
hunt.
Let him chill for a minute. They just won. You're trying to get him on the next one on December 7th. They're trying to eat turkey. Let them have a Thanksgiving, bro.
That is true.
Let 'em
That
have
would be.
Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
bro.
You guys ever think about that? Like what even John said about Valentine's Day. Do you guys ever plan or fight around a holiday or a birthday or just something like, maybe you have a cruise planned out, or didn't you like one of your last wins? You went to the Smoky Mountains,
Yeah, right afterwards.
right?
Yeah.
Like
we kind of planned it around.
okay.
Yeah.
Would
So,
you ever not take a fight, or have you ever thought about not taking a fight because of something of that nature?
Nah.
No.
Actually, I didn't go on a cruise one year because I got offered my pro debut. I was like, to hell with that cruise. I was like, I can't go. I'll get fat if I go on that thing. So,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you got to take opportunities when they come, but
Right.
I always try to make an effort to, no matter what, go home, see my family for Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Yep.
Always. So, this was just any time. I just don't like to plan or schedule things around those times just so I get to go home. Because it's just a tradition to go home,
Yeah.
go hunting, and then we got Thanksgiving, and then for Christmas just to spend, a week with my family. So,
Pete, hit the mic. Anything? Push, plug.
Our handle.
Website.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Praise Jesus. No, I mean, our handle for me, obviously is Fusion X-Cel. Just my opinion, we've got the best fighters in the world. We've got the best gym in the world. But I'm a little biased, obviously. So, but the one thing about us is we've got like, I want to say 45 fighters between amateurs and pros in our gym right now that we're going to try to find fights for next year. Right. I would say about 4 of them, if I was to guess, 4 to 5 of them are ready for that next level. So hopefully we'll have those guys on the Contender Series, or we've got some opportunities at 1FC next year, maybe some PFL stuff. We're not sure yet, but we do have a lot of great guys coming up, and they're learning. I mean, one of our best amateurs is Val. Obviously, you know who Val is. Yeah. I mean, I think he's 4 titles now between kickboxing and I mean, I don't know what. It's just I've lost count right now.
He looks like
so.
a boxer, right? Like
Listen,
he looks
man,
like one of those boxers.
Val, I'd
like
still beat your ass. I will still beat your ass. But
that's a great rivalry in the gym. Is everyone versus Pete? Like, no matter
oh my
what,
gosh,
Pete just talk like just say.
Listen,
something.
I don't talk shit. They start the shit.
But
with
the thing
me
is,
first
Pete will
of all.
just say something, and like him and Val, they go out all the time. It's just like, oh, well, they're making bets. Like, I can take you down. And then the thing is, just like, anytime it's like just a smaller person. I remember the one time he's like, Pete's like, I can take Tiago, you, and like 4 others. He's like, so what's going to happen? Is Tiago's going to come at me first. I'm just going to throw him to the ceiling, and he's going to disappear. And then I really only have to deal with you because you're the only like normal-sized human being. He acts like he just like he can just take them and just like toss them aside like they're just dead. You know, but they get like he's just joking, but they take it so serious.
Some of the guys take it serious. Yeah. I think so. For instance, I'm a big dude, so it is hard for me. Even like I'll gas. I'm a big fat guy, so I don't give a shit. I'll say whatever, but I will gas in 90 seconds. But I'll give anybody 90 seconds worth of hell. I will for a second. So, but Mitchell Shamale, Diego, Uzi, or whatever. It was like one Saturday morning. We were done with like sparring, whatever it is, and they all jumped me. Like it was 3 or 4 guys. And they tried to take me down. They got it on video and stuff like that. So it took like 4 little Brazilians and Mitchell Shamale to take me down. So just so you know. So
that's his catchphrase. Is you're too little.
They are too little.
They
are too little. So anyway, but no. All seriousness, Fusion X-Cel. We've got some great things going on with our kids now. We've actually started a capoeira class, which is Brazilian jiu-jitsu martial art. We've got wrestling. Bubba now is teaching wrestling on Saturday mornings. So 9 o'clock for all
just
ages.
The kids?
No, all ages.
Anyone.
Yeah, we have all ages.
A few of the older guys said they're going to come show up. I love teaching when I get the chance, and it's just in MMA, it's just a kind of an overlooked place unless you grew up wrestling. Or you're Julian Williams.
He does a good job when you were showing me, Chris, and Taylor, that one. You and I forget the other gentleman's name. The older gentleman that coaches wrestling.
Bill?
Probably, yes, Bill.
Yeah.
Bill's good. Showing us some moves. It was he explains it very well. It's a very good teacher.
Yeah, I just try to, just like I'm kind of dumb sometimes, so I just try to break it down in simplest forms, just to like, make it as easy as possible. And I just like when people, so like anytime, like I said, like he shows me striking, I show him wrestling. Anytime I showed Jeremiah some, he's like so attentive. I just like when you show stuff and they.
Every teacher loves it. I'm a high school teacher. Trust me, every teacher loves it when the student is attentive.
Yeah, but I mean, he takes it and applies it, and at the very end, he's like, "Seriously, thank you. Like I needed that."
And then you want to go teach him more.
Yeah.
Hey, did you guys watch Jeremiah's last fight? He actually wrestled a dude like a lot. He actually took him down like 8 times.
But then right off he told me,
he didn't finish him, but
man. Like some of that stuff you showed me was so important. And
no, but he did take him down quite a bit.
Where would kids or where do you sign up to go to Bubba's class for Saturday morning?
So I mean, you can either give us a call or you can go online. We have our website, or obviously just stop in the gym. So we're out in Winter Garden, so we're not in Daytona, but or in Ocoee actually, but. No, the kids' classes are great. We're actually about to roll out. We're actually adding more adult classes that's coming in right now. And then, like I said, our fight team is continuously growing. That's the one thing that I have to say. And we've got, like I said, So we talked about Bill for a second. Bill is the reason why Julian is a good grappler. He's coached Julian in wrestling, even though Julian's never wrestled professionally. But Bill is one of the reasons why Julian is a good wrestler. So we've got coaches like Bill and Bubba wrestling. We've got, I think we have between all of our guys 11 or 12 black belts that teach jiu-jitsu or can teach jiu-jitsu. It's absolutely, it's crazy that you find 2 or 3 at a gym, let alone 12.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so, and then, you know, you got some of the world-class athletes. I think he's Jacare's fighting, Mike Perry's fighting. You just had Alex, you know, he's still in the PFL. And I think we had 2 or 3 guys that train at our gym continuously that just made UFC. So our gyms are growing, man. Which
something that Alex called out. He goes, he called out PFL. He wants to get signed by one. You saw
Did
that
he really?
Instagram?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of stuff with Alex, but
Yeah,
I mean,
it was funny. He's like, man, I'm sick and tired. I can't throw my elbows or knees. He goes, one, you hiring?
oh, shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Alex, I think got robbed that last fight. I mean, I'm biased only because that first knee wasn't low.
It wasn't low, and then not like even the ref, right? And the ref he didn't want to time out. Like he just knew like the guy's like, oh, low, but he's like, it wasn't. But how he acted.
Oh yeah, the guy was a professional actor.
It was horrible.
Yeah,
like it was bad.
The first one and third one were low. The second one was. I mean, that one there I could tell maybe was low, but that first one should have finished him. He should have been done in the first round, and he should have been fighting. Was it Russell or
Ross Holt?
Luke?
Oh no,
Josh.
Jared Russell. Yeah,
Rush Holt. Yeah. Yes, right.
Yeah.
And then that was another bullshit thing. Like he say he wasn't ready to compete or something like that. I was like, damn. So I mean, I don't know what happened in the back. I have no idea. I haven't talked to Alex.
They're like, hey, Alex wasn't really, talking. I'm like, that's Alex Nicholson. Normal. He's always loopy.
And like I said, when has Alex not performed in a fight ever?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So.
And then, so we mentioned Dean a couple times, and Alex Nicholson, I really do believe this. Alex Nicholson could fight Stipe Miocic 2 weeks from now and beat him. Like, I really think Alex Nicholson has the potential to beat any heavyweight in the world at any given time. Yeah.
Listen, man,
like,
Alex,
that's not just saying off the and he could lose to heavyweights as well, but like he just has this incapability, like this raw, just this.
No, he got the I don't give a fuck attitude. That's pretty much it.
He doesn't fear anything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And sometimes that's it's a negative, right, in the fight. But sometimes, like in that case,
listen, I would say, I've literally, again, over at SWAT is when I first met Alex. I want to say it's 5 or 6 years ago when I first met him. I've supported him ever since. And I love Alex. Me and Alex have always had our differences back and forth, but at the end of the day, I love Alex. The one thing that I will tell you about Alex, and Mark and I have talked about it, I've talked about it with everybody, is the man literally has lost, I would say maybe 2, and I think it's the 2 in the UFC because of the other fighter maybe just getting the better of him, and then he was cutting weight or 2, whatever.
Right.
Every other fight, I think Alex lost because of Alex. It wasn't because of the other competitor. You know what I'm saying? It's because of the mistake that he made.
Sure.
So I think if he was a little more patient. I mean, I remember I was actually cornering him, not this PFL, but the last one, and me, Hannah, and Mark were all saying, like, listen, but all you got to do is stay patient, wear him out in the first round, and the second round, beat his ass, he's going to gas. If you watch his first one, the guy gassed. The sugar bear, honey bear, whatever the fucking bear was. So whatever his name was, right? And listen, he chased him, and the only reason he lost, he was beating his ass.
I know,
You know, so
he seemed really patient this year, and like I noticed that watching him, like
he's gotten better every single year. Every single year he's gotten better.
Yeah. Like he seems a lot more.
I even said, if he stays patient and he does that, he's going to win this year.
Listen, I actually liked his last fight. I mean, he did all. He got up. I mean, he got up well. He did everything well. He just got. I think he got robbed by acting. I mean, that's really what happened.
We talked about the other guy he fought. These are high end professional fighters. That was his. Analogy to baseball, you strike a guy out, it's hard to strike a guy out 4 or 5 strikes.
Yeah.
Like he had the knockout, he had the TKO in the first. It's hard to knock out someone twice in one fight.
But he also got like 15-minute break in between there too. You know what I'm saying? It was retarded.
Yeah.
It was
bad.
Yeah, it was just absolutely stupid. And he got a point taken off for 2 accidental.
Yeah.
He got 2 points off?
That's what I heard.
I thought it was 1.
As a 1, I thought it was a 2-point deduction.
I don't know. I know at least 1 that he got taken away.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, and then like I said, 2 out of the 3 weren't even a low blow. Yeah. So
I mean, it was instant replay too. I thought that's a rule.
See, I thought it was a 2-point deduction because that's how the guy won. Otherwise, it would have been a tie.
Well, one of the judges with the point deduction had him 19-19. I saw.
Oh, okay.
They had Alex actually winning the fight.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know how it all scored or whatever it is, but I could tell you for sure that I think he won the first fight against him. He won the second fight. And again, people might think I'm biased. I mean, I love Alex, but I'll call it as it is. But he got robbed that fight. I think he should. I was with you. I think he was the best heavyweight in the competition.
Yeah.
And,
And
I think PFL thought that because his face was everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean,
It was like
he has
Kayla
the-
Harrison
he
and
has the
Alex Nicholson
highlights.
everywhere for PFL. It was just
He
them
has the
two.
highlights that no
Yeah.
other heavyweights have. You know what
Exactly,
I'm saying? He has
so-
all those. So when it
but-
comes to that,
Flying knee,
Yeah.
dropping somebody across
the body
ring.
kick was
The body
nasty
kick.
when he.
Oh, yeah, when he
I
dropped
swear
that.
that dude's
So-
abs were lacerated. Like
Yeah.
with that kick.
Andrew
so
Luck.
loud.
Andrew Luck retired because of that.
I bet.
I mean, you
Oh
watched
my
the other
God.
two fights that night for the heavyweights. It was shitty. It was just like, man, it was so
I
boring.
actually turned it off.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't even watch the rest of it.
Oh, no, you trust me, you did-
Once they announced he wasn't fighting anymore, I was like,
I wish I would have turned it off, man. It was so
it's
bad.
heavyweights. I was like, I don't want to watch any of those heavyweights.
But it was
besides
so
Alex.
boring. Oh, both the other fights were so boring.
I know I said last question like 8 times, and we'll talk Disney Plus off air. But no, to you, Pete. Last question. We'll end it. Episode 99. Crazy. As a manager, are you? Some people are like so UFC or kind of bust or UFC bust. Are you like, hey, no, if Bellator pays 50 and 50, like, oh, we'll go there. We'll fight in Bellator, or PFL offers nice paydays and $1 million option. As a manager, are you kind of pro UFC or bust, or is it no, whatever's the best for my guy?
Whatever,
Or girl.
1,000%. And here's the thing about it, man. You guys talked about first round management earlier and other managers and things like that. I wouldn't consider myself a full blown manager. I help my guys because I care about my guys. Right. I care about my gym. You don't see me managing other guys outside of my gym. And I care more about the individual person and their well-being than I do about the paycheck, payday, whatever it is. My ultimate goal is, number one, make sure that they're ready for the next level, because ONE FC, UFC, Bellator, all those are next level things, right? Yeah. So Julian is one of my biggest advocates. He's obviously the guy I go to. Is he ready for this fight? Is he ready for that fight? So that's my number one thing. I will talk about this to the day I'm blue in the face. Phil Rowe, people always criticized Phil Rowe for not taking the tough fight before he got into the Contender, right? That's what they criticized. No, they did. They criticized him. I'm going to be real with you. But here's the thing about it. You don't get better in the fight. You don't. The fight doesn't make you better. You get better in the gym. But so who do you fight in the gym? He's fighting Mike Perry. He's fighting Jacare Souza. He's going against wrestlers against Bubba. Yeah. He's going against all those guys. So yes, we did pick the right fights for Phil Rowe, because when he got against a good guy in the Contender, he gave him hell. He showed out there. You know what I'm saying? Because he does it every day in the gym. So we want to make sure we take the smartest, right path to get them there. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, have you guys ever played the lottery? Scratch off tickets or the lottery, right? Yeah. Like, I don't understand. Like, I hear that. I've heard that 49 times about Phil, and it's like, why would you want the tough road in a way? Like, I'm not trying to, like, okay, you guys want to drive home tonight safe. Why would you want to be in traffic to take the tough road home? Like, I want to get us home as fast as I can. I wish I win the lottery and so I can support my family, and me and my son will go to Disney World every day instead of school and work. Like, why would I want the tough road? Like, I'm not trying to, like, am I off on this one? I don't know. Like, I was like, why would you want the tough road?
Exactly. So for us, I mean, that's what we always do. Even to this day, that's what we want to try to do, because, I mean, the young guys coming up, the one thing I will tell you guys is you get better in the gym. Julian, when I was telling you about before, when he lost his first one, he took time off to make sure his grappling was on point. He got with JT. He was boxing all the time. He took some time off to get better. Now, anybody that goes against him or anybody in the gym will tell you, or even like guys who come visit our gym will tell you, damn, he's good. You know what I'm saying? He didn't earn that reputation by the fights that he took. Right. He earned that reputation by the work that he did in the gym. So my job as a manager, or I guess whatever, as a consultant, is when they get to the UFC or the Bellator, me and first round management actually have an agreement. So I get them to that point, and then they take it over from there, kind of thing. And and it's only because they've got the connections and everything else. I could help out a little bit, but and honestly, I don't make money fighting. I mean, I'm not sure. I don't make money managing a fighter. I've got a career that does other things. I do this because I like the guys. I want to help guys chase their dreams. So, when you ask me for Bellator or UFC, no, it's whoever is the best fit. If Bellator came right now and said, "Hey, I'll give you $100,000 for a fight," where do I sign? You know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter. It's UFC, but we want to make sure it's also the right fight for our guys. Yeah. You know,
and they give Bubba the MVP treatment. Yeah,
I'm gonna mention this. I'm gonna tell you this right now. You hate Tom Brady. I hate Colby Covington. I mean, the MMA, whatever. Sure. He's the interim champion right now. He's fighting Kamaru Usman for the championship, right?
Yep.
Did he ever fight Tyrone Woodley? Did he ever fight all of the? Did he ever fight Jorge Masvidal? He never fought the guys that were ahead of him at the time.
He did fight Dos Anjos.
RDA, but he wrestled Dos Anjos, and he was a 155er coming up to 170.
What you got against wrestling?
I'm sorry. Yeah, but listen, I'm not. Me and other guys argue about this. I think Robbie Lawler is a different fighter today than he was 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, even. Would you say that?
He's still a monster.
Yeah, that's
No, he's still a monster, but no, 3 years ago, that trilogy with Roy McDonald took it out. Yeah, that when he was in that, he was insane. He was.
I mean, listen, I think who was the fight before Cowboy? Damn, who was he lost that fight? I can't remember who it was against.
Or Robbie?
No, before Cowboy. He fought Cowboy, and he won a very controversial decision, but I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, I remember.
He lost to was it Dos Anjos?
Yeah, that's exactly.
He lost to Dos Anjos?
Yeah, Dos Anjos.
Yeah, so
beat the hell out of him.
exactly.
Oh no,
so,
but he did like dislocate. That was crazy though, because he like dislocated his
And he
shoulder in the
still
first
fought.
round, and he was like against the cage. He's like, "Come on!" He was dancing.
Yeah.
That was
Well, all I'm
crazy.
saying is, I'm one of the Robbie Lawler's biggest fans, but I think there's a threshold for fighters, and I will always say this, and I'll continue to say this: mental fortitude and grit are two of the biggest components, and fight IQ are the biggest components of fighting. You could have all the skill in the world. When you get to that level, there's a lot of guys with very similar skill, but the guy who's got mental fortitude, a little bit more tough grit, and it just has that toughness in him, is going to win. Mental fortitude is huge. I think Robbie Lawler had that in a young career. I think he had that mental fortitude, kind of like an Alex Nicholson, if you will, mindset. I don't give a shit. I'm going to win. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to beat people's asses. I think somewhere along the line that changed for Robbie Lawler. I think so. I think he started doubting himself a little bit, and when that creeps in, you're still a great fighter, but I don't think you're going to win as much, if you will.
And to close that too, I also think he got a couple really big paychecks, and then I think that changes people.
I don't know.
I don't know about that one. I think a fighter's a fighter.
Conor McGregor, just so we haven't mentioned him at all, Conor McGregor is not who Conor McGregor was 3-4 years ago. He'll never be in what he was in that stretch.
Hold on a second. Yeah, but let me ask you a question. Sure. As a fighter, I'm going to ask Bubba this. Yeah. If you like fighting, right? You enjoy fighting. But if somebody gave you $90 million to fight, would you really want to fight anymore? Is like putting yourself through that again? Would you want to do that?
And going for a run when you have satin silk sheets in the bed is
Yeah.
a whole nother story.
I think subconsciously there's a lot of things that go into it, because when you have that, that drive and that hunger, it just changes it a little bit. You're
Right, yeah, 100%.
Like, I don't know what I'm going to do if this doesn't work.
Yes.
So you get that little bit
100%.
of, that little bit of dog in you to.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
And you do it less frequently, just like Conor McGregor.
He's crazy.
Well,
It's all good. The money made him crazy, but he changed his life, and he did it the way he wanted to, really quickly, skyrocketed, and then he said, I can do whatever the fuck I want. No.
Yeah,
But
like
he's got just so because. But the thing is like with the Khabib fight, I would have took Khabib over him at any time.
Yeah.
So I don't think maybe.
Probably.
How do you know his skills are
I
diminished?
think he's a great fighter.
No, he is, but he's not what he was
I don't have time.
for.
Okay.
No, but
I don't know. No,
who did he
I'm
lose
just
to? Though?
posing a
Who did he
question.
lose to? He lost to Khabib,
But I don't have
and he lost to Nate Diaz. Who else did he lose to?
That's it in the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And he lost to Mayweather for $90 million. Yeah. So I mean, what else?
I mean that was never going to go well.
Yeah. But that's it. Who did he lose to?
We had 4 rounds to tell us if MMA power translates to boxing power, and he would have been the best one to see it right away,
Yeah,
and it didn't.
yeah.
And that's
No,
what it was.
in my opinion, Mayweather toyed with him. I mean, he did. Mayweather
He
wouldn't.
ate 3-4 hard bombs, and I'm not even like, and he ate some bombs. And Mayweather has a chin. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he ate some bombs. It just told us that in 8-ounce gloves or 10-ounce gloves, whatever they were, that MMA power doesn't always translate to boxing power.
True, very true.
And that's what it taught us.
Yeah.
He had 3 to 4 rounds to put some stank on some stuff, and he did. That uppercut was ugly.
Yeah.
And that man didn't fall. You hit that. He puts 4-ounce gloves and hits that dude in the cage with that uppercut. The homeboy's going to sleep.
Yeah,
For sure.
Do you see what I'm saying? It
course.
just didn't
Yeah.
translate.
Julian Williams, December 21st. Bring your son. Bring the money. We're getting it. We're watching Paw Patrol. We're putting them in the room. Winner leaves alive.
Can I get one more thing?
Yes,
in?
sir. Yeah.
I'd like to give a shout out to my mom back home. I saw my sisters. I didn't know my mom was going to be watching, but I want to give a shout out to her. She just recently she was diagnosed with multiple myeloma, which is like it's a blood cancer, and she was already in stage 3. But the thing is, she's young, she's athletic, she walks like 20 miles a day, crazy. You know, it's just like, I don't know. It's kind of maybe where I get, if I got any toughness, is where I get it from. And my dad, I gotta give my dad some respect too. But anyway, you know, it was just difficult, like watching her go through, you know, those stages. Like, she's tough, and they say these things are gonna make her sick, and then she's killing everything. It's supposed to make her sick, but it's not. But then she had to do stem cell transplant, which made her lose all of her hair. And then she's weak and has to like learn to walk again, and she loses all of her strength. And now she's back to her crazy self, walking 20 miles a day. And this is just recently, like a couple weeks ago, she couldn't get out of bed, and now she's walking marathons every single day, killing it.
That's awesome.
You know?
That's awesome, man.
So
very happy to hear that.
love you, Mom.
That's awesome.
Man. Well, we're gonna leave on that note. Yeah, you can't beat that one.
No,
Like
exactly.
you know, no funny joke or no like.
Always on the podcast on a great.
I didn't wanna-
yeah.
No, that's
No, I love it. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. All right,
99th
guys.
show, guys. Thank you for coming.
99.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
There we
awesome.
go. Fight Bananas. Give Fusion some love. J Mac, Bubba, Pete, Zachary, and 2020 is gonna be big. 2020 is gonna be big. All right, guys. We out.